Hello and welcome to the next edition of There's a Will. I have in the studio today an excellent guest, and we're going to learn something about artificial intelligence. His name is Przemek Chojecki. I know that because it's written right here on this piece of paper, where I have absolutely everything. Przemek, welcome to the show.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah. Przemek is one of the smartest people I know. And I don't know why he's here on the show. He's here to educate us. And obviously, he was short of things to do today, but he's decided to come in. Przemek, you are an AI specialist. But before we get into arguing about artificial intelligence and the takeover, the future of the world, the takeover by machines and how human beings are just not important anymore, I'd like to ask you a little bit about your background. Tell the folks about where you're from and all that.
Yeah, so I was
and your journey to today.
Yes. So I was born in Warsaw, and it's here that I was raised. And then during my studies, I went to France. So I spent 5 years in Paris doing my master and my PhD in pure mathematics. So that was like
pure mathematics.
Pure mathematics. No applications, no real life to that. That was pure intellectual
pleasure. None of
pleasure.
that bastardized mamathematics for you.
Exactly.
You like it straight up.
Yep.
Just like Einstein, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
even more.
He didn't do pure mathematics.
Actually, he was pretty bad at mathematics, I think.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah.
He wasn't good in school in mathematics.
Yeah, exactly.
He was just a genius.
In physics.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much different. Like mathematicians
it's
and
intuitive,
physicists.
isn't it?
It is.
Physics.
Yeah.
A lot of it. Yeah.
Mathematics, you have to be more rigorous to that than in physics.
And know the formulas and practice them. And,
So I did that. Then I went to PhD. I did that in France as well. And then I decided I have enough of French, and for now I would like to go to some Anglo-Saxon country. So
you got tired of France?
For a little,
Too many croissants?
Too many croissants, too much of a coffee.
Too much good food?
Yes, exactly.
Paris,
for 5 years
too
in
ugly
France.
a city.
No, Paris was fantastic, but I wanted to try something.
Yeah.
I wanted to try something new. So I have this idea in my mind that actually I want to go back to Poland at some point, and then I keep prolonging that period. And then at some point I just decided, okay, I want to go back soon, but then I want to try something yet completely different. And I was between UK and the US, and Oxford basically proposed me a research fellowship, so I accepted that. And I spent there 2 years doing.
Which college in Oxford?
Brasenose.
Oh, Brasenose.
Yeah, I love it. That was one of the oldest.
One of my teachers went to Brasenose.
Yeah.
But Brasenose, is this where William Golding was? The writer?
Oh, I don't remember.
It's a famous college. Anyway. That's all that's important.
Yeah.
To our viewers, I guess. Those who know Oxford will know. Those who don't will know that it's a good school.
Yeah.
One of the best.
So I went there, and then basically 2 years ago, I went back to Poland. So yeah.
You came back to Poland because you missed Polska. I wanted to. Oh, you said you were in the United States. Where were you in the United States?
Oh no, I said I wanted to go between US and the UK.
Ah, that was your choice.
That was my choice. And then I haven't, I was in the US for many trips, but either business or pleasure, and I was basically everywhere, but I was for, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks at most. Yeah. Between California and New York. I love California. I love New York.
Who doesn't love California? The weather alone.
The weather, yeah.
It's a beautiful place. You got the desert, you got the beautiful sea, the mountains.
That's fantastic.
It's a fantastic place.
Yeah.
Certainly to visit. I didn't know about living there, but it's certainly a great place to visit.
That's true. I mean, for
some
working,
time. I lived there for about a year.
I mean, it might be hard when you live there actually, when you're outside of the tech bubble. Because if you're in the tech bubble in Silicon Valley, then you're in a perfect spot because you have all the smart people you can talk with, all the investors, all the people who are doing similar stuff to you and you can relate to. But then if you're outside of the tech bubble, then you see all the prices going up. There are so many people moving out of San Francisco because of that. For example, if you're an
artist... I thought they're moving out of San Francisco because there's just human feces.
Oh, that's another
everywhere
problem.
on the street.
Yeah.
Is that true? Did you see that?
Yeah, I said that. And there's a lot of problems with homeless people on the street and drugs.
Well, it's drugs.
Yeah, you can.
And crazy people.
Yeah, I mean, that was amazing.
Absolutely, certified.
I saw I was there for 3 weeks, just a couple of months ago, and then I never seen so many needles on the street and so many crazy people around. In the city center. Basically.
How can they allow that? There's children walking about.
Yeah, that's true. That's
the
a big problem.
ladies walking about are not safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, like if you compare the two worlds, because on one side you have all the smart people who's gaining like, they have like million paychecks, and on the other
$1 million
hand,
paychecks.
Yeah, $1 million paychecks, and on the other hand you have all these homeless, crazy people around.
Yeah, because Silicon Valley, Palo Alto is just down the street.
Same. Like,
Berkeley's just down the street.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
So there's ongoing conversation regarding that, how they can change things, but so far nothing has happened.
Yeah,
So
and
that's
with
crazy.
can AI
Help?
help?
No, because it's regulations.
This is the problem, you know.
Yeah.
First of all, let's say, let's define AI.
AI.
Let's do it. Let's be honest about
Yeah,
it. Put it
that's
straight
okay.
up. Because some people think they know what AI is.
Oh yeah, but
But let's hear it in
Yeah.
your words.
yeah, that's a good that you're raising that, because I'm like talking with people from like big corporations, and they think they know what's AI, but in the end they think that AI is just, you know, macros in Excel spreadsheet, like smart things moving around. So AI itself is just any kind of intelligence, spark of intelligence, which is not generated by humans. So you can have both biological, non-human intelligence, you know, or you can have like computer intelligence. And what's understood mostly by AI today, it's machine learning. And machine learning is just a kind of approach to computers, to programming computers through certain algorithms, which
Algorithms.
which
You're saying algorithms.
I'm saying
right?
algorithms.
We might ask what that is too.
Oh yeah, okay, so that's the way of looking at the problem, where you don't actually define all the rules that the machine should follow. You're just giving it like kind of a hint what it should be doing, like, I don't know, like take this document and extract information, but then the machine itself has to figure out how to do it. And it does it by basically learning from examples that you giving it to it. So that's what AI is currently. Like this is, AI is currently machine learning, and machine learning is an approach to digital problems where you're passing, like you're giving just hints of what the machine should accomplish, and then you give a lot of data.
Okay,
to that
let's
reason.
define machine. What is a machine in terms of AI?
Yeah. So
what is a machine?
So for me, machine is a computer, but it could, like, because right now but it's computing power, let's say.
It's computing power, right?
Yeah.
Which can be in a
physical form, or in a cloud, or like some.
Or it can be in a semi-animated form, which is a robotic.
It can
be a robotic idea.
Yeah, but in the end, like you have some kind of computing power, and you can either have a physical form or not in a way.
So it can just, it's like a brain just sitting there, or it's like a brain attached to a moving, some kind of, whether it's working an automobile,
that's true,
or a thing, or becomes like the humanoid figure of that lady. What's her name?
Oh,
do you remember the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
My name is, whatever, and she's
Sophia.
No, Sophia? Was that?
You mean the lady who, the machine, the lady who
right,
actually got the rights in the.
That was on.
I was in the. Near East, like where was that? In Dubai, or like
something like that.
Like she has more rights right now than women in this country.
Than a human? Oh, she has more rights than a regular woman in Islamic society.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have any.
They don't have
any.
that's a problem.
Yeah, they have the right to cover up. Etc.
That's a problem.
And keep quiet, and not drive a car, etc. etc. I don't want to go too far with this. But because we're talking about AI, not Islamic, the Islamic religion, which is exactly the opposite of, yes, and which leads me to my next question. Descartes had some ideas about artificial intelligence.
Right.
Did he not? And going back, I don't think we need to, Descartes, of course, said, I think, therefore I am. And tried to reason with Mr. Pascal. Can AI think?
Yeah,
can it reason?
Yeah. I mean, to some extent, it already does.
Yeah.
So
how does that work?
So right now, what we're having is we're saying this artificial narrow intelligence, which is thinking in a very narrow domain.
Right.
Like playing chess, playing Go, like, and there, Go is like.
So if it's playing chess, for example, against some chess champion, it's de facto reasoning, right?
It is.
It is
I mean,
reasoning.
chess is a pretty particular example because
No.
the game is much simpler than Go, and actually the computer can brute force the solution, meaning that it can go through all the possible ways for the potential moves and figure out what's the next move. But if you look at Go, which is much more complicated than chess, then actually you can't do that. And you have to use some kind of intuition in order to decide what should be the next move. So for me, like this is the kind of thinking that a human being would do, and this is why experts who are actually looking at both Go and AI were thinking that we're pretty far away from computers playing Go much better than human beings, just because of this intuition factor that have to go.
I was going to say, intuition.
Yeah,
because
there's intuition.
Intuition is really important, but
Yeah.
can these machines do not have intuition? This is solely a human quality at the moment, right?
No, they have an intuition actually.
They do have an intuition.
They do have an intuition. Like the way you train them is to have an intuition about.
So what is intuition then?
In this game?
As opposed to reason. Let's just define our terms.
Sure.
What is intuition? What is reason? Because lately, there have been, I've always thought intuition is more important, but who am I compared to the great minds? But that was just my intuition.
Yeah.
But apart from what someone like, a layman like myself could think about this, what is the definition of intuition, and is it actually more important than reason?
I think
and
both
then
are
let's
important.
talk about machines.
Yeah. So intuition is about you have a particular feeling that one of the solutions or one of the ways to the solution might be better than the other ones. So that's intuition in this case, that if you're thinking about the game, so for example, game of chess, because probably this is more like easier to explain, then it's thinking about which chess piece should move next, and then you decide that most of the chess pieces are not important at a given moment, and you just focus on like 2 to 3 chess pieces at a time. And that's an intuition, that those 3 chess pieces are more important than the others, even though in the game they are not, like apart from the king. So
it's a good way of looking at it. So intuition is some form
the gut feeling,
predicting the future. Or predicting a path to the future?
It's actually making a bet about the future.
Okay.
It's making a bet that the pieces that you look like, you narrow your intuition is about narrowing your vision.
Okay.
You're saying that
life's a gamble. Okay.
So
that makes sense.
Exactly.
Life's a gamble.
Life's a gamble.
And
then you're making a bet.
Is making good bets.
Exactly.
Bets in your favor.
Intuition is making a bet.
Not just in chess, but generally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's narrowing down your vision to what you think is more important at a given time.
So when we look at a figure like Einstein, because we already mentioned him, and we talk about his intuition, because that's what he said, intuition was the most important thing, it's like this. Let's break it down. And correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the expert on this, not me. But if, for example, intuition would be knowing the answer to a problem without being able, for example, to do the actual math, but you know it's got to be that.
Yeah. So that's the intuition. And reasoning is exactly like being able to do the whole math behind it.
Right.
So Einstein got
what
intuition.
You can do. Yeah.
And
pure mathematics.
Yeah,
that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's the
that was
objective.
what
Now, how does a machine, we talked about how humans do intuition, use intuition, what the difference between intuition and reason is.
Yeah.
So it's a difference between physics and pure mathematics, for example. Now, how does a machine take that leap? How does the machine do it?
So it's all, if you think about actually if you think about intuition in a probabilistic way, meaning that intuition is saying that if you take this event, then the winning scenario is more probable. That's the kind of saying that you have more chances of winning if you take this route. And this is the kind of what machines does, in a sense that computer is trying to compute probabilities between each event and then chooses the one which has the largest probability of being the winning scenario.
And for example, in a game.
In a game. So I'm thinking about the game because that's the easiest to explain.
It's the easiest way. Chess is a very good metaphor for this, because we consider that one of the highest intellectual pursuits of a human mind.
Yeah.
But as far as reason
right.
and intuition combined, right?
But basically, you can take exactly.
Yeah.
But basically, you can take this intuition from chess to any kind of different human endeavor, and like for example, like extracting this information from given documents. It's also kind of a game. Like the game, like if you're trying to construct a report on something, and trying to find facts which make your argument correct, then it's also about the game of finding the right arguments. The game, like which arguments are better, which are not, and then evaluating those on a live basis. So it's also constructing intuition in this kind of way.
Mm-hmm. That's good stuff. Okay, we're getting there.
Yeah.
Now, we've talked about human intuition, human reason, machine intuition, machine reason. What have we left out? Feeling, emotion.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we see the science fiction movies, right? And in the science fiction movies, the machines, for example, in the Alien movies, the machines have feelings. But what about Blade Runner? What about Rutger Hauer and the others? But particularly him. He's a thinker. His character, Roy Batty. Roy is one of the great creations of science fiction literature and film, perhaps because he does combine all of these qualities in him, human qualities with a machine.
Right.
Would you, would you accept that as an
Meaning,
idea?
is that possible, or like?
No, would you accept that as a proposition? That's why that character is interesting.
Because exactly.
Yeah,
I think like
So moving on from that, is that a prognostication? Is that a prediction? Prognostication. I don't even know what that means. A prediction. I know what that means. Is that a prediction of the future?
Building feelings for machines, or like?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Is it something that can happen, or is that?
It can happen. Like it can happen already.
So far in the future that it's out of.
No. So I believe that you can endow machines, computers with feelings. But why would you do that? In a way.
Well, okay, and
like,
say why it's not. It's something you wouldn't want to do, or you said why? Okay, why not?
I tell you why now.
Okay,
No, because then you would probably have to think about their feelings, and it would be like, in a way, it would be like
anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphication of computers, it's like making them human.
Giving them human qualities while they're not human.
Yeah,
that's the idea.
That's the idea.
We're
but
thinking
worse,
of them as human.
Exactly, but it will be like done in a very artificial way, and I think the better scenario for that. So, and also that's the answer to the question why I'm not scared of AI and like the developments is that we're trying to bring human and machine together to create like a new entity, like the upgrading the humans, meaning that so every one of us is already a cyborg in a sense that we all have smartphones. If you
I don't have mine on me. Do you have yours?
No, I
do have it. It's here.
Oh, you have it.
I am a cyborg.
You're a cyborg.
Yeah.
You have a connection to the internet.
Explain, what does that mean, that we're a cyborg?
So cyborgs in the sci-fi genre, it's like being humans mixed with machines, that you have artificial parts in you that making your capabilities better in a way.
Well, so and if you have a pacemaker or you have some other kind of replacement organs, you're in a sense a cyborg too.
That's true.
Using technology to enhance the normal human capability, or the let's say the innate human capability, it makes you a cyborg.
Right.
Would that be right?
Yeah, that's right. So already like having smartphones, like even and anything which is medical and helps you in a significant way, that makes you a cyborg. So actually the idea is that you push forward the technology so that it will be just more convenient, so that you won't have a smartphone. You probably, if you were to like for example wear a bracelet, which would give you the same kind of possibilities like your smartphone, that you can make a phone call or even like, and you don't need like earplugs or like anything, then you would go for it because it's more convenient than like thinking about the smartphone. So it should go like in this way, like of machines integrating with human beings. That's the perfect scenario.
That's the perfect scenario. Okay.
But that could go wrong in a very.
We're going to get. That's my next question. I have it right here. My next question. Good segue.
Yes.
Or segue, as one of my friends says. Interesting pronunciation. Must be French, right? Mm-hmm. Can AI be moral? Can it be evil? Can it be good? Does it have any moral precepts, or does it have to be programmed? Or could it change itself over time?
well, the
and
idea
develop
is that,
those qualities?
yeah. So the idea, okay. There's some. Okay, maybe I start with the last question is actually the more complicated one. Can it develop these qualities? So the question is like, yeah, it doesn't have any moral qualities right now, but the question is how do you use that? And even if you use it in a good way, it might end up doing very bad things. Like for example, you were to think about, like this is the famous metaphor that I'm going to give you.
Give us the famous metaphor.
Yeah, like in this word.
I'm sure I haven't heard it, so I'd like to hear the famous metaphor so I can tell everyone.
So think about a company whose whose the goal is to actually give water to people, like especially in Africa or like in any kind of region where there's the water supplies are not enough.
Right.
And they're building the cutting edge technology to actually extract the water from any kind of any way possible, and they built an AI to extract water, right? So that's a good goal. That's so. And at some point, but they give the AI more and more autonomy because AI is asking for like more computing power, access to like different documents, and it seems reasonable because it wants to know more about chemistry and like everything.
Sure.
And at some point, the AI actually decides that, oh, look, human beings are made of water. Like 90% of human beings is water. So let's just extract the water from human beings. Well, it's not done. Like
that's why I'm so thirsty.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. That's like this 90%. Yeah, that's true.
I think it's water into the studio.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Yeah. Drink your water. Yeah.
I'm drinking it already. Yeah. So actually, it's like
90%.
Yeah, and I think 80, 90.
I've heard that. Is that really true?
That's true. No, that's true.
Because a lot of times you hear these things, they're not really true.
Yeah.
These kind of things. But
I
that's
checked
true,
with one.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Did we really land on the moon?
Yeah, I think we did.
Is the Earth flat?
No.
Are there aliens?
Yes.
But not visiting.
Maybe they are. Like,
maybe we don't know.
We don't know.
I have to ask a smart guy.
Yeah.
So fans, they want to hear that.
Yeah.
I mean,
aliens especially.
Okay. Yeah. Our fans on other planets.
Yeah. Yeah. So going
only
back
people are going to understand this conversation.
Yeah.
Are people on other planets in Palo
we should
Alto?
greet them. Oh yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
That's the same. That's the same planet.
So
going back, actually, so you actually, if at some point this machine decides that the human is the best source of water, and then it just wants to extract the water from all the humans, meaning killing all the humans along the process. So
right, because that would be a logical decision.
That's a logical decision. Right. No feelings, no hard
the problem,
feelings.
isn't it?
And there's no morality in it. It's just like you're starting with a good goal of providing people water, but along the way, you somehow end up killing all the people to provide them water.
This is a great illustration of exactly how things could go wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
because it's not like Terminator. Right? Like people are scared of like machines running with guns on the streets.
This is not the worst part. Yeah.
This is not the worst, and this won't happen. And this is the worst.
What if the machine? What if the machine thinks we're the virus?
Yeah, exactly, and like tries to kill it. Exactly, right? Like that's.
Okay, I asked you before we came in the studio. We were talking quite intensely. It was fun, and I asked you about Elon Musk, because he is a pretty smart guy, and which is a big understatement, but an incredibly creative man looking far into the future. Let's call him just a human being. This guy is, amazing, and he says that he has been warning. I'm sure you've seen this. He's been warning people about the dangers of AI. It is not, and perhaps I think he even talks about the kind of example that you just discussed, where it turns on us because we're in the way of a solution, which may have been devised for us, but right,
exactly.
In the terms of your example of water, but what do you think about his warning to us about AI?
So he's one of the skeptics. There are also like many people who are actually very optimistic about it. So there should be like two sides. For example, Mark Zuckerberg is like very optimistic about that.
Good Lord. That guy, I'm off Facebook. I don't even look at it anymore. Do you look at it? I don't look at it.
Sometimes I prefer Instagram.
I can think better when I don't look at Facebook. It's really true.
Yeah,
it gets into your brain.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's worse than alcohol or something.
Yeah, social media are like hard to get. That's a different conversation.
I just think better. I can write better. I can do everything better when I'm not on social media.
Yeah, because it distracts you a lot.
But you think Instagram is better. Why is that?
It's just simpler in a way. Like it's very aesthetic, and I can like look for like 10 minutes and just go
It's
go
like
away.
pictures, mostly.
It's like pictures. Yeah.
Okay.
So
But I don't-
going
I don't
back
wanna
to
get into
AI.
social media. Let's get back to our
Yeah,
far
and
more.
Elon Musk. Yeah.
Let's not let the tail wag
yeah.
the dog. Yeah.
So basically, yeah, he's right. Meaning like we should be very cautious and aware of like what's going on, but that it's not like imminent danger, but in like upcoming research and in the way people will apply AI, we should be aware of the potential consequences of what might happen. Like exactly with this example with water, and it's.
Well, why do you think he? I mean, you're a well-educated, a man experienced in this area, a leader in this technology, certainly this part of the world, and no doubt you are in contact with people who are leaders in this field. Why is he saying that? Do you think it's too dire?
Well, I think he's saying that in order to.
Or it's exaggerated? Do you think?
Well, it is exaggerated.
Or he just wants people to think.
Yeah, exactly. Like he wants to have conversation going on about this issue.
And that's a good place to start.
Yeah, that's exactly. Like because I think about it like the way he already he thinks about Tesla. So he said he did Tesla not to make a profitable company. He doesn't want to make more money out of Tesla. He just wants to shift the world to think about sustainable energy and like electric cars because of the climate change. And he's done
a great
that.
job.
And he's done that.
He's done a great job.
Yeah,
and that's the use of AI as well in that car.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe
it's the most AI car.
That's true.
Around, isn't
it? It is already because you have autopilots. You can really park your Tesla. You can drive. Like there are
and it's
crazy.
Efficient and very fast. I mean, it really is the
very
future,
fast.
isn't it?
It is. So he did that. He has accomplished that, and he wants to accomplish, I guess, similar things with AI of like turning people attention to potential issues. So he's done that with, like this tweets. On Twitter, plus different conversations about it. Plus, he also funded OpenAI. That's a foundation in Silicon Valley in San Francisco. I have a couple of friends working there, and basically people that are working on like very hard issues concerning AI, machine learning. So that's like he's very active in trying to get people attention.
You have friends who work with him or know him?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So
you're a lucky man. That's a rarefied company. That's good company.
Yeah, like that's a good company.
It's a challenging company. Yeah, it's the future, isn't it?
No, I have a lot of smart friends, so I'm very motivated to actually work more because of that.
Could I hang out with you? All my friends are stupid.
Sure, like
they're not all stupid. I'm the dumbest one. It's like I need some smart friends. So. Can I get your number later?
Yeah.
What is the singularity? I'm looking here. I'd written that down earlier because people think they know what the singularity is, maybe even including me. Think I know what it means, but I'm not sure really. Could you define it for us?
Sure.
Please.
So coming back, I have already mentioned this artificial narrow intelligence that we're having. So we have these different artificial narrow intelligences in different forms, like a machine doing very particular task, like sorting documents, like playing chess, like a robot being able to walk and run. This is narrow intelligence. And there's a concept of artificial general intelligence, which is encompassing all that. And it's artificial intelligence, which is able to perform all kind of tasks, which can be accomplished by a human being, from physical to like the different kind of digital ones, like sorting documents, like reasoning and stuff like that. And singularity is basically the point when we create artificial general intelligence. That's it. That's the definition. So AGI.
What does it mean practically?
So that's the whole discussion about it. Like there
because
are many
singularity
books.
is supposed to be the point at which machines become their own entity.
Yeah, and that's
their own thinking, existing entity independent of human beings, no?
Not necessarily.
Or have I said that wrong?
No, that's not necessarily. So
okay, that's what I mean by not being precise.
Yeah. So
correct me, please.
So singularity is creating AGI. That's it. And AGI, so artificial general intelligence, is the artificial entity, like computer or machine, which is capable of doing things at the level of a human being. So it is independent, but a priori it might be independent, or when we actually connect with a human being, it might give rise to something new.
What are the top 5 things that we can expect out of this approaching singularity as machines become more independent?
Yeah.
What are sort of the 5 main ways our lives will change in the next 25 years?
So I guess the biggest thing is, there are 2 which comes to my mind first. Is that the first one is everything is becoming more and more autonomous. You know, like not only cars, but then you will have everything delivered to you either by robots, and like, you know, you probably already use like Uber Eats, Uber, so those kind of services.
Everybody's using delivery for everything. You shop on Amazon, it comes to your house.
So that will be automated even to highest degree with robots doing that.
You shop on the internet, I should say. Yeah, not just Amazon.
So you will have like this kind of a smooth process of buying things online and also going anywhere. It will be like very easy. You just check on your phone, you just like order something, and that's it.
Yep.
And on the other hand, there are like very nice things going on in healthcare, which might help human beings a lot. Like, so AI is already diagnosing.
Okay, let's talk about that, because that is potentially huge. There could be things like, they've been talking about these nanobots that we put in to get rid of cancer. And
that's like a
right?
Yeah, that's long-term vision. I guess
thing.
Ray Kurzweil probably he's talking about
but is that within the next 30 years?
Maybe
50
30
years?
Yeah, 50 perhaps. I mean, I'm more into like...
what are you into? Yeah.
AI helping doctors in predicting or like diagnosing like cancer, like any other illnesses, and finding cures for those.
So AI
so like a super doctor, you might have a super doctors which are enhanced with AI. So you have humans collaborating with AI to really get.
How would it help us in, say, I'm interested in cancer because I made a film about a cancer scientist a year ago, and a documentary. And I'm particularly interested in this because the reason I made the film is because not a bunch, but say 6 people that I knew well got cancer.
Right.
And some of them are not here now.
Right.
Some of them have beat it for now, and some have disappeared and gone away.
Right.
But how could AI help us with cancer problem?
Yeah, so it's helping already right now because it can diagnose cancer really early in the stage. So there are already like research done on that. I don't think it might. I think it's in pilots in a couple of hospitals throughout Europe and the US. Where actually you can have this, I don't know, tomography or like this kind of, different kind of monitoring of your body. And then apart from doctor looking at it, you have also AI looking at that and potentially signaling what might go wrong. So you have this insight, medical insight coming from AI.
What I understand about cancer, okay, just to take this further, because I think cancer is worth talking about in this sense. It's a subject that touches everyone. Or someone, it touches us all in the sense that we know someone who's
definitely
got cancer or has died with cancer. And they say, my understanding of the subject, again, as a layman, but making a film about it and interviewing and working with a top cancer scientist, is that everyone has cancer in them. It's a question of whether that switch is flipped or not, to actually start the cancer multiplying.
Right.
So how could AI help us in the nearest future, or can it in the nearest future, to detect or to knock that, to target that switch and keep it turned off, for example? Right.
So, okay, so it can already detect it at very early stages. So that's already some help. And at this point, it's all about implementing that, because you can already do that. There's already research in that, so it's a matter of time. It's like probably 4 to 5, 10 years of implementing that as a real help in hospitals. And on the other hand, to go even further than that, AI will serve as in a way of enhancing doctors which are doing research right now. So it might identify potential cures to cancer or potential causes to cancer, because it can analyze so much data that wasn't able to being analyzed before. So that's the potential solution to the problem.
Yeah,
like you'll be able
because computerization
of all this data.
Even all this data has hugely helped.
Right, but then you have to go through
It's a
all
whole
this.
new game
Sure.
now. Yeah.
So
But
there are
it's
like
not a
two
cure.
steps.
There's no cure. Yeah.
That's
early prevention is
the early
closest
prevention.
we get.
Yeah.
And
But-
in fact, if you operate on that principle, because that's what they did with AIDS. AIDS, in shorthand, is a kind of cancer, right? Of the blood.
Yeah.
So if AIDS is a kind of cancer, and they've managed to shut that switch off, actually, of multiplying. So a lot of, I mean, this particular scientist, Howard Ernovitz, was using used his AIDS research at the top level on blood as a means of going further. So he's an immunologist, so he's looking at blood as a means of testing to find which part of the body is under attack.
Yeah.
And then flipping off that switch.
So the same thing might happen with cancer. It's just like a matter
That's what
of
he
data.
hopes. Yeah. And do you think that artificial intelligence?
Well, it will help
also-
you fasten the process, actually. So it's the same. Like in the end, it will be the same what human beings would be able to get, like the doctors, but you will be able to get it like 1,000 times faster.
I could talk to you forever, but in the last 5 minutes, I'm hearing that we've only got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So in the last 5 minutes, I'd like to ask you and talk about the. We already kind of talked about whether AI can take over the world, and really no one knows. It can either develop well, or there can be a malignant side to it. But yes.
I think the more possible scenario is actually that it won't be AI, but someone who controls this AI who will take over the world.
Use it for evil purposes. And then we'll really know what evil is, won't we?
Yeah, like motto of Google is, don't be evil.
Sorry?
The motto of Google is,
don't be evil.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not so sure. It's like it's like fascism with a smiley face.
Yeah.
You know, it's hey, look, watch me tap dance, and you go to jail. Look, simulated reality. Do we live in a simulated? I wanted to just talk about. You know, this is
This is
the. I know it's a little bit off, but AI is related to this.
Right.
And this is the Bostrom hypothesis, but not just that, because I'll say this really quickly, because in 1977, Philip K. Dick made a speech in France. It's on the internet. Philip K. Dick, the author of Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, and other famous, Total Recall, and other famous things which have been made into films. The Man in the High Castle, that long series. I mean, Philip K. Dick is a huge man, and my favorite science fiction writer.
He's very good.
Yeah, because it's also literature. That's what I love about it. And even though the writing's awkward, it's great. But perhaps because of that. But Bostrom comes out with this thesis, but in Philip K. Dick in 1977 on a book tour in France, freely available, this interview or his discussion on the internet, he says, we are living in a computer simulated reality. And everybody thought he was crazy.
Yeah, but now Elon Musk comes and he says the same thing.
Right, and he says, oh, it's pretty likely. And Bostrom has said that, and it's kind of expanded. So now Philip K. Dick's intuitional leap, because he had no scientific basis for it, but he said, I know we are, because occasionally I break through.
But, you know, actually, it is much older than that, because the whole vision...
Well, Descartes had an idea.
Oh, no, even older than that. Like,
okay, the Greeks.
The history, even older than that. It's already...
Who? What's older than that?
It's already in Taoism.
Zarathustra?
Yeah, basically. Like, you know, like in the Eastern culture, you have this idea of like, that this reality is a dream. And someone is dreaming this dream.
Am I a butterfly dreaming of being a man, or am I a man dreaming of being a butterfly?
So that's exactly this thing, and this is like this is already a couple of thousands. It's a couple of thousands years old, and it's coming from the Eastern cultures, and it's actually this simulated reality is like actually a modern way of putting that we're in a dream of someone else.
Fantastic. So I think it's a good place to stop, because otherwise we'll go on forever and we don't have time. Will you come back and can we continue?
Yeah,
another time?
Definitely.
I thoroughly enjoyed this. This is exciting. I feel electrified by this conversation. Okay, folks, thank you very much for watching with my guest Przemek Chojecki. Sorry, I'm suddenly Chojecki. And he's a good man and a smart man, and I've learned a lot. I hope this was entertaining, as entertaining for you as it was for me, and I hope for Przemek.
Oh,
Thanks
it
for
was. Thank
coming
you.
in. Okay,
Yeah.
stay tuned for the next exciting episode of There's a Will. I'm Will. This is Przemek. Goodbye for now from us.
Goodbye.
See ya. It's a bit like the dating game.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
you can-
Blow him a kiss.
Oh, yeah,
No,
the-
we need a couple of ladies to do that. We can't do it ourselves. See you later.
See you.
Thanks for watching.